I get called into parishes all the time who say, how can we grow? And what they mean is, how can they increase their numbers, both people in the pews and money in the coffers?
This year in which we've done the story is shaping up to be one of the highest income revenue years in many years, growth of the church in terms of attendance in years.
We had larger crowds. We probably grew in worship service about 25%, in our small groups about 18%.
Our church is 175 years old, and on that day that we launched the story, we hit an all-time record attendance. Since then, we have seen a continuous 12% growth in attendance through the study of the story.
Our membership is not necessarily known for going out and openly or aggressively sharing their faith and their witness normally.
The story helped me have spiritual conversations with other people who I definitely would not have entered into that conversation with under any other circumstance.
We had some of our leaders buy books by the boxes, and they went door to door through their neighborhood saying, "This is what our church is about to do. We would love for you to come and be part of the story with us. Find your story in God's story."
We have about 400 people in worship service, and we made a commitment from the very beginning that we were going to give away 1,000 copies of the story. It was so successful that we ended up giving away 2,000 copies of the story.
We have 26 parishes participating in the story. Some of our parishes have as many as 3 or 4 study groups going for this one offering, which is tremendous, phenomenal, sort of unheard of. So our experience is that it's really caught fire.
You can have start off a conversation with what you've read in the story as opposed to what you read in the Bible, because I feel a lot of times people get turned off by hearing the word Bible.
Coupled with that, I actually bought a few for my coworkers as well, and yes, it's amazing.
It was not saying to a person, "We want you to come to church." It was simply saying, "We want to give you a gift." And the gift itself, God's Word, is the one it's what brought them into our church.
My belief as a person of faith and a person on diocesan staff is that growth is the end, not the means. And that the means to growth for us as Episcopalian Christians is spiritual deepening.
There's an exciting season of growth in this church that we cannot divorce from the fact that we've been walking through the narrative story of God and seeing our story and His story.
One thing that the story has done within our groups is a very interesting thing. Our groups have grown larger because people have enjoyed the story so much. They've invited their friends and family to come look at the Bible in a whole different way, look at the whole story.
But the end result was not for us to build our church. The end result was for us to build the kingdom. And so we saw not only people come into our church because of the story, we saw people going into other churches. It's not just about us, it's about God's kingdom. And that's what's so exciting.
I have always wanted and hoped and prayed that my husband would become involved in, my church life and the story, because I keep it on my bedside and I read it at night. He has actually said, "How about I read that story that you're reading?" And I think that he would have never picked up the Bible to read, but the story was different. And in fact, at one point he did say, maybe once I get done with this, I could read the Bible. And I said, you are reading the Bible right now. And so that was cool. And it didn't scare him away either.
My husband does not read fluently in any Spanish or English, and I always had to help him to read La Historia. And little by little, I got very interested on it. I am Catholic, so it is very different than what we do in our Catholic church. We go to church and they do read the Bible, but it's only like one verse only, and they just talk about that one day, and that's it. And reading La Historia, it's different because you can read the Historia and also refer it to the Bible. And that's how I got interested, because it makes a lot of sense to me and it's a lot easier now. So I think I'm going to start reading the Bible.